Hi, everyone, and welcome to joining us in today's podcast. Today, with me, we have Martin Berlin. Martin is the partner and global deals real estate leader at PwC. Martin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jana, and always a pleasure to join FHS. Thank you.
Fantastic. Martin, let's start a bit wide and talk in general about the market in the Middle East before deep diving into the Saudi market. We know the Middle East has been a bit resilient in a challenging global economy, but from your perspective, how did the Middle East recover post pandemic?
Actually, it did recover very, 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 very well in what I would refer to as a perfect storm in the political and economic situation that we currently see with post-COVID effects, with China not open yet, with inflation increasing, with recession at the horizon, with the war at the Ukraine. So we really have a mix of challenges which are extremely challenging for the entire world economic environment. However, the Middle East has been quite resilient in this. If you just look at the inflation rates globally, it's between 4 and 9%. In the Middle East, it's between 2.5 to 3.7%, so significantly lower than the global average. And also the fiscal situation of the Middle East countries has been very resilient as well, with oil price being at the level that allows the countries to cover their budget, but in addition to also invest, which is in these times very, very important to have this capacity to invest and to grow the economy.
Interesting. And I was very lucky to be in Saudi during the pandemic, and I've seen how it dominated the Middle East, at least in terms of GDP, through this pandemic. We all know Saudi is an emerging market, and every emerging market has its own challenges. So you just said challenges post pandemic. I'm keen to hear more about that. What challenges does the Saudi market have now as an emerging market?
From my perspective, the challenge that Saudi has to manage growth. Because the vision since 2016, we have the vision 2030 out there with significant growth targets for 2030. And with the current GDP of 4.2 trillion SAR, Saudi is by far the biggest weight in the entire GCC, in the entire Middle East. And it's managing its growth quite well. And growth along several dimensions, be it tourism, be it the economy overall, be it residential, be it the ports, the airports. We have seen several announcements that is reflecting on the infrastructure as well as on the base economy to grow and bring Saudi up to a quite significant global competitor.
And Martin, you being a professional in the real estate sector, can you give me a bit of a futuristic and realistic realization of how the market is going to be within the next few months or years?
Yeah, what we see, and here I give you an example out of the hospitality industry. If you look into the projects that we have currently in the pipeline in Saudi in the hospitality sector, we see DGD Gate, Diriyah Gate, we see Qiddiya, we see Red Sea, we see Al Ula. All of those projects are going to contribute to the supply side in hotels, and we expect a 9 to 10% per year growth in hotel supply over the next coming years until 2027, which significantly adds to the hotel capacity of the country that caters to, I would say, three main streams, whereby one is growing. One is pilgrimage, which is traditionally the highest tourism section within the overall international arrivals. Second is domestic travel. Domestic travel during COVID and even post-COVID, and now with new offerings, will continue to be so, has significantly grown. And then last but not least, leisure, international leisure tourism, which is bound to grow with the project that I've just mentioned as well.
And Martin, you're absolutely right about the local tourism and the religious tourism. They're two of the aspects that have been growing massively. But within that, also, there's a lot of change in the consumer preferences and consumer behaviors. So, how are the businesses in Saudi, and especially in the hospitality sector, adapting to those changes?
I think we see a lot of new products and a lot of new offerings in the hospitality sector. That is broadening its offering from a very like limited offering where it started from 5-6 years ago to now having restaurants offerings that were even not possible a couple of years ago that are now there, to also like leisure hotels, resort type of hotels. They are exploring a lot the coast at the Red Sea, with several projects, obviously, and NEOM is certainly the longest shot there. But they are now capitalizing on the landscape, the seaside that they have as a big asset, as well as historic assets, as Alula, for example. Alula is a fantastic location to look at. It's very often referred to at Petra on steroids. It's a fantastic location to go to, and there are a lot of offerings that are pretty unique, that are new, that are in the luxury level. But also as base travels, I think there will be a lot of development and new offerings coming up.
That's true. That's true. There's about 15 provinces in Saudi, and each provides and offers completely different experiences for the travel and tourism industry. Coming back more into the investment side of things, I know investors around the world are eyeballing Saudi, but what are, from your professional sector, I mean, what sectors should they invest in? What sectors shouldn't they invest in? And generally, how is the investment market in Saudi for the internationals?
It's a growing market, and there's a lot of things that if we take a step back, what enables international investment? It is the right regulatory environment that you create within the country. Saudi has recently created the Saudi Tourism Development Fund that can mirror investments that come from outside. It has created the Saudi Tourism Authority that put out the strategy. So it's now opening and enabling the market to receive foreign direct investment into the country. And there are several levels, I think, where you need to see investment. One is infrastructure. For sure, infrastructure needs to grow to cater for the additional people that would like to travel and are going to travel to Saudi. So all the infrastructure with all the aspects from an airport to roads to public transport. Then the second one is the entire, let's say, real estate infrastructure where you have different asset classes: residential, serviced apartment, branded residence, hospitality, hotels, and the associated like leisure offerings that is providing those that are traveling to Saudi with attractions to travel to. You need to have a reason to go to a certain country. You need to have an attraction that gets you there. And I think that entire ecosystem is currently built.
That's true. Saudi is working very hard to try and have that ease of doing business right now. I think we're doing quite a good job getting there. And as you said, there is a lot of areas where these developments are taking place. For example, King Abdullah Financial District is one of them. A lot of the head offices are opening there. So yeah, as you said, we are seeing a lot of growth in Saudi, and it's been such a interesting conversation with you, Martin, as always. And we're looking forward to seeing you at the Future Hospitality Investment Summit in May.
Same here. We are just a couple of weeks away from it, and looking forward to be in Riyadh again.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure speaking to you today. Thank you so much for being on board today.
Thank you very much, Jana. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Future Hospitality Summit podcast. For more information, visit www.futurehospitalitysummit.com.